Have you ever dreamed of catching your own fish, foraging wild ingredients, and cooking it right there in nature? Today, we dive into the story of Taku from Outdoor Chef Life. A man who turned that dreams into his everyday reality and built a YouTube channel loved by millions. What drives him to live this lifestyle, and what's it really like behind the scenes? Let's find out.
There are a lot of fresh seafood and mushrooms that we can harvest on our own, and to be able to make amazing dishes, restaurant quality dishes in the great outdoors with what we collect. It's truly connecting with your food and really realizing where your food comes from. I think it's a very important aspect of life. My name is Taku, and I'm a full-time content creator on YouTube. I have a channel called Outdoor Chef Life, where I go fishing, foraging, and cook what I catch. And the whole premise is to make something delicious and restaurant quality. So the idea came from watching YouTube myself. I really love watching YouTube. I didn't have a TV in college, so I just watched tons of hours and hours of YouTube. And I love fishing content. And a lot of the fishing guys on YouTube would catch their fish and cook it in a way that was very unexciting. So I decided to take that first part that I really love, the fishing, and connect that with my passion, which is cooking. So getting the fishing, as well as putting a lot into the cooking portion and not neglecting it as just a last little effort in the video. Ever since I was a kid, I really loved cooking. I would help my mom in the kitchen, and she would teach me, some things, and I would just be in there helping. And when I moved out to college, since I couldn't afford to buy good food at the restaurants, to go to restaurants, I decided, I'll just try to make it myself. And I just started getting involved in the kitchen, experimenting and making original dishes, as well as recreating some classic dishes as well, especially Japanese cuisine, as I was born in Japan and lived there till I was 9, and that's kind of what I grew up on as well, with cooking with my mom. I've been fishing since I was maybe 5 or 6 years old when I lived in Japan. My dad would take me out fishing, and we'd go out fishing for largemouth bass. That was a big thing when I was a kid. And we sometimes hit the coast as well and fish off of the piers and things like that. So ever since then, loved fishing, but I actually stopped fishing when I was in high school and didn't fish until the end of college. So there was a long period where I didn't fish. But as soon as one of my friends in college said, "Hey, let's go out fishing," I went out with him, and then instantly, fell in love again with the sport. So now haven't stopped since. My first video was about harvesting uni on the Mendocino coast, and I was recently there as well. And my first video ever didn't really perform well. It didn't go as planned because I was trying to cook rice, and the gas stove ran out of gas, and then so I just had seaweed, and I had nori and the freshly harvested sea urchin, and I just ate them together, just with the nori and uni. But I can say that even if it's not perfect, the first video, I don't think it matters. I mean, the challenges in the beginning were just the uncertainty of YouTube being consistent enough to support us, and not knowing if it was going to be as good next month as it was this month. And with YouTube, it's always up and down, so it is scary on the down sometimes. Maybe we might not make enough next month, but what we decided to do, we just kept pushing forward, even if we had bad months, which happens quite often with YouTube. We just kept pushing and creating more content and pushing through, and eventually you get a good couple videos and your channel's back up again. And it's a roller coaster, but I think that's the challenge, just being a little comfortable with the downs as you are with the highs. I love to check it. I love to find some really prized mushrooms on my own property. It would be pretty nice. When I started the channel, I started out with a lot of Bay Area fishing content and coastal foraging in and around the San Francisco Bay Area. But as I evolved the content, we started to make enough to be able to travel to Washington, travel to Alaska, and buy a van. So we started doing van life incorporated with all the fishing and foraging and cooking. So that was an aspect that was a dream as well. And we were also able to go abroad and create content in Japan, in Australia, New Zealand, and places like that where they have amazing seafood, and where I can keep making content similar enough, but add on another layer to it. Foraging came to me a little bit later in life. I didn't grow up foraging, but one time in college I picked up a book that was talking about foraging, the plants and edible things around us. And what I realized is that there's so much that you can eat in your backyard, on the streets, just growing everywhere. There's a lot of weeds that are actually edible and that are much more nutritious than vegetables you can buy in stores. So that kind of inspired me to start foraging. And once I found out about the coastal foraging, where you can get protein like mussels, clams, and crabs, things of that nature, I just loved it. And then I started making sushi, becoming a sushi chef, and with the freshest ingredients, that's a dream for any chef. When I was sushi chef, one thing that was missing was the element of being outdoors, because working in a professional kitchen, you're enclosed all the time for hours. Like, we have 12-hour shifts on the regular. So I think that really made me miss the outdoors as well. So the element of being outside adds to the complexity of the cooking, and also adds to the flavor, I think, as well. Everything you make outdoors always tastes better. So I've always been drawn to the outdoors and doing everything outside.
Oh, no.
Now let's go. Down. I go into your space. But now we dance. Now we dance. Ooh, He's like, no, I don't want to dance. I want to dance with you. Yeah, so we have a 10-acre property in Northern California in the redwood forest, and there's redwoods everywhere, and it's stunning views and beauty throughout this area. And what comes with that is there's also wild mushrooms that grow in the area that we can also forage and eat. So right in our backyard, literally now, we can harvest our own wild mushrooms. And nearby are rivers, there's the ocean, so we're close. We have close access to getting fresh seafood like crabs and lingcod, rockfish, salmon, things of that nature. And it's an amazing property that we get to live on and to build on. There's already a home on the property, so we don't have to worry about building that, but we can also just focus on building out the rest, which would be making a beautiful campground area with an amazing outdoor kitchen. We have the greenhouse already up and running, which grows fresh produce year long. And we also have a guest house where we can have friends and family over and they can stay in and hang out with us for a few days.
There are mornings I wake up and don't know where I am.
Jocelyn and I created Outdoor Chef Life from day one. She was my camera woman from that day, and we've been making it, filming it together, and she's been in the videos the entire time that the channel has been alive. And we travel together, we work together, live together obviously, and no, I couldn't ask for a better partner, because even when we started in 2019 full-time, she quit her job to pursue my dreams, and we went out to travel and we went out to film amazing stuff, and now we are creating this property together as well. So yeah, I couldn't ask for a better partner in crime. I think one of my dream trips still, I want to go to another country in South Pacific or anywhere to catch a monster GT off the rocks. I've had some amazingly close calls. They're much harder to land than they are to hook, that's for sure. I think I've hooked at least 6 GTs, and none of them off the rocks have been landed. I did land one that was off of more of a dock, and but that was amazing still. And there's some huge fish out there that I want to catch and fight with. It's a lot of fun. So I think that would be my next another dream trip to get that done. Since I was raised with the mindset of having a good time always, that's kind of what I do for work now. I'm just having fun, and it's my job, and I love it. And I think everyone should follow that path. If you're not enjoying it, don't do it. And if you are, go for it, put your all into it, because it can become something amazing. It can become your dreams can come true, and it's quite incredible. It's a good life. And one last note, the past 2 years I've been working on a cookbook to bring to everybody, and here it is, The Coastal Harvest. I just recently finished it, coming out soon in the springtime, and I hope that you get your hands on one. It's got some amazing, beautiful artwork from my friend Dwight, and yeah, I think it's an incredible book, and everybody should have one on their coffee table. So check it out, Coastal Harvest.